I know.
He always wants Mississippi Mud.
He'd be gone because I'd have ate him.
A special finals edition of Title Pie. Meanwhile, Justin Fields in a Taysom Hill / Cordell Stewart style role, maybe. But right now we're headed back to Minnesota, where the Mavs obviously rolled the Wolves, was over early. Cat and Ant had 28 in a losing effort. Wolves finished the season with 56 regular season wins, but 3 wins short of the finals. Here's Karl Anthony Towns.
I don't know. I'm confident that I'm going to be able to be here with my brothers and, you know, and continue to do what I love here at home.
He looks sad.
Okay, so the question we're going to ask is, should the T-Wolves run it back? And this is Josh's graphic. I know when you make it to the conference finals and lose, like, oh, man, we're knocking on the door. Problem is, you usually don't get up to the doorstep. You're left on the sidewalk the following year.
That's
Nobody's
a testament to the depth
back.
of the West, too.
Yeah, and there's also been some changes in there, so it's a little bit,
West,
some personnel changes.
But nobody's been back.
No one's back.
Yeah.
Well, we're in that era of parity. Yeah, run it back. Because one, what's the trade for Karl Anthony Towns?
Ooh, I've got one for you in a minute.
Okay, I'll hear that. But I don't think there's a trade where you're getting back equal value. Secondly, he's 28. 9th season. He could learn from it. We know Anthony Edwards is going to learn.
Mm-hmm.
I think Cat could learn. And some people might say he's in his 9th year. LeBron was in his 8th year when he struggled against Dallas in the finals. Obviously learned. Now, granted, Karl Anthony Towns not on that level. But LeBron learned and obviously went on to win championships. Dirk Nowitzki, in 2006 when Dirk lost, again, they were up 2-0. It wasn't, he played fine, but still they lost. And then he lost in the first round 3 of the next 4 seasons, including the embarrassment of winning the MVP award and losing to Golden State, the 8th seed that series. And in the closeout game when they lost, Dirk had 8 points. Dirk was viewed as a guy, he's not going to win you anything. He's not going to be great in the playoffs. And then in his 13th season, he obviously had learned and grown. He wins the championship. So I would definitely run it back next year. I mean, you can make tweaks. Do you look and see if you can upgrade over Conley? Probably can't, but look at it, fine. But and Gobert, I just don't think you can trade. So the question to me is Karl Anthony Towns, and I think I would bring him back and count on him growing, and then next year let's see how deep we can go.
I agree with you. It's inevitable that they're going to talk about trading Karl Anthony Towns, and the rumors are going to be out there because of how inconsistent he was.
I'm about to start one.
In the play. No, I'm sure it'll be a great trade offer. But Anthony Edwards, if people are making the Michael Jordan comp, and he's not.
Wilds is going to go nuclear.
But listen, he's obviously not. He's not. But he will get better. He's 22, and it took Jordan 7 trips to the playoffs to win a ring. So, let's see what the kid can do with continuity. And then also, let's also not pretend like Game 5 was a blowout, and I think that was surprising to a lot of us. They easily could still be playing right now.
Oh, you do sound like Ant.
Well, I'm just saying, Game 1, they lose by 3. Game 2, they lose by 1. Game 3, they lose by 9, but it was a 2-point game with 2.5 minutes left. And then this is the other thing, and it's a sentimental point, I guess. We should all want them to run it back. We don't know who the owner of the Timberwolves is going to be right now. There's a dispute about it. But both ownership groups, Glenn Taylor's and Alex Rodriguez, are saying, we're going to spend to keep this team together. If we hold them to their word, next year's Timberwolves team will be one of the most expensive teams in NBA history. And that never happens for a market like Minneapolis. So,
well, that's why I think they could break it. I don't think it would be based on ability of the team. I think it could be fine.
Well, so the trade I have doesn't make the team cheaper, and it doesn't make the team younger, but it might make the team better, and it hits some notes you like, which are sentimental notes, but also basketball notes. So what if I told you that there's a player out there that the Timberwolves once tried to acquire via trade recently, and also a place Karl Anthony Towns could go where he gets to team up with a guy he had an undefeated college regular season with, and you can make the argument it makes sense short term for the Timberwolves and long term for the other team. And it's a 1-for-1 trade, no picks, no anything. Brew, you're onto it. What's wrong with this? And by the way, who's Anthony Edwards' basketball GOAT? Oh, it's him. And so Karl-Anthony Towns is 28, as Brew mentioned, has 4 years left on his deal. Kevin Durant's 35, has 2 years left on his deal. I don't know that Minnesota wants long-term to be spending all this money, but maybe for the next couple years. To me, if you're Phoenix, yes, Karl-Anthony Towns is not as good as Kevin Durant, but he has such a longer runway, and you have Devin Booker already. Yeah. And so, to me, that is a trade that both front offices would have to strongly consider. They both make $50 million, even though there's apron stuff, the trade works. I think if you're the Timberwolves trying to get over the hump and not just run it back, you still have bigs to deal with at Denver. Like, there's a lot of, to me, reasons that is a trade that makes sense.
I like that. I do like that. I don't think Phoenix will do it, but it makes sense for Phoenix. They're not going to win it with Kevin Durant.
Right, and it's
but
not.
But they probably think they could.
But it's also not if you're what Phoenix definitely isn't going to do is be like, all right, we're rebuilding. But that's not saying you're rebuilding.
No.
That's adding an all-star level player in a position of need, getting younger. So,
I like that.
That's what I said.
I like that.
Yeah, I knew you'd like the Kentucky thing.
I like it.
And
Works for the Knicks.
And Durant, the band loves Durant, and so I don't know.
And Durant, is going to be great in the playoffs.
Yes,
and Ant will be the leader.
Yes,
which is
that's one that works.
Ant cemented himself as a superstar. These conference finals.
Kills my trade.
No, that was a good
nice job. After the game, Anthony Edwards explained what he learned.
You just know how you got to train because, like I said, I've never played this deep into a basketball season. So now I know, like, okay, in order for me to be able to be dominant in the third round, and if we get past the Western Conference Finals to go to the finals, I got to train like I'm going to go to the playoffs. So I can't be missing training days. I can't take days off. I can't, you know what I mean? I got to be ready.
Okay. Should Ant be in the MVP conversation next year?
Oh, gosh, absolutely. So I took a page from Nick Wright's book.
Oh, wow.
Little MVP tiers.
Ooh,
now I'm going to reveal them one at a time from the top.
Well, that's not.
And I think you will.
From the top.
I think you will. No, I know. I didn't take everything from you. No committee. It's a committee of one. It's a committee of one. And here's how it is, too, Nick. It is entry. It's not just my picks. This is entering next season. This is how I think the sentiment will be.
Good.
The public sentiment.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah,
the public sentiment will be the front runner.
Yes.
Will be Luka Doncic.
Agreed.
All right, win or lose. These finals, I think he enters as the front runner. He will have a head start. Just like last year, Jokic had a head start because he won the championship. He was fantastic. And people felt like, he kind of should have won that MVP. Luka has been the best player this season, playoffs included. This is the next tier. SGA, Anthony Edwards, and Jason Tatum. Now, Tatum's on there because if Boston wins it, it's going to be like, look, he's in the race. I mean, right? He's in the race. Anthony Edwards, fantastic postseason and season. And he entered this season he was obviously viewed as a really good player.
Different tier.
Yeah, not on the radar of an MVP. Right. So he wasn't on that superstar radar. And people are looking for the jump.
Yeah.
They're looking for, okay, he's been to the playoffs now. He's been hurt, emotionally by losing a big series, and now he's going to take that leap. And SGA, I mean, he's going to be like if Luka has, say, a 10-yard head start. SGA will have a 5-yard head start over the rest of the field because of how he finished this year in the MVP race. The third tier is this: Jokic and Giannis. Jokic, there will be some voter fatigue. But it'll be like he's going to win 4 or 5 years when he's only got 1 ring and just got bounced in the second round. Giannis, Nick, it would have been 4 years in between MVPs for him. That's never happened in the history of the league.
Really?
No player's ever gone 4 years in between winning MVPs.
Guys it's been 4 years between a guy's
if
first
they keep
and last.
winning.
Right,
yeah,
exactly.
But I mean, Jordan went 3, but that was because he retired and played baseball. So there's going to be a little fatigue. There's not impossible, but there will be some fatigue. And then here's the final. Embiid. Oh yeah.
Oh.
Did I have Embiid? I may have messed up because I didn't have Embiid.
Officially had Embiid.
I had Embiid's in there.
Let's go.
Wemby and Ja. Look, Ja redemption story. Memphis completely fell off the map without him. If he gets